In this video, we will talk about return on investment, also known as ROI. The ROI tells us whether or not we should make an investment. The performance of an investment is measured by its return, and the return can be measured either in dollars or rates of return, and we will discuss both. We will also look at payout calculations, which is another measure used when evaluating whether or not to make an investment. Let's define each of these terms. The net present value measures a project's time value adjusted return. This is also known as a discounted cash flow profitability measure. The internal rate of return measures a project's percentage of return. And then finally, payout measures how long it takes to recoup your investment. Let's start with net present value. I want to show you how to calculate the net present value. We reviewed how to discount future values in the time value of money video, so you know that we could discount each year's cash flow using the formula present value equals future value divided by 1 plus the interest rate raised to the power of n, and then sum all of those discounted cash flows. I think it's important to understand the math behind the calculation, but it's much easier to calculate in Excel. On the left, I've set up the equation in Excel. In cell A1, I've put the discount rate of 10%. In A2, I've put the initial investment. This number is negative because it is money being spent. In rows A3 through A6, I have listed the cash flows received each year. Now let's work through the Excel formula. Excel has a net present value function, so it's pretty easy. Start the formula by typing the equal sign, open parentheses, NPV, open parentheses, and then click A1 for the interest rate. Enter, comma, and then click A3 and drag through A6 for the cash flows. Do not include the 0 period investment yet. The 0 period investment is added in the next step. Okay, so close the parentheses and now add the initial investment with plus A2. The reason we add the investment at the end is because the Excel function starts with time period 1 and not 0. Remember this point. It's an easy mistake and it's made very often. So whether we calculate by using a formula or by using Excel, we get the solution of positive 116.63. The net present value of the project is positive, so this is an investment that could go forward. The rate of return is a discount rate that makes the net present value of all cash flows from a particular project equal to 0. IRR calculations rely on the same formula as the net present value. This is super easy in Excel if you use the IRR function. I have set up our cash flows on the left, starting with the investment of negative 240 in A1. The cash flows from years 1 through 4 are in cells A2 through A5. The formula is rather simple. It is IRR equal, open parentheses, A1 colon, A5 close parentheses. When you run this formula, you should get an IRR of 29.7%. Finance departments will often use the internal rate of return because it can be compared easily across different projects. Finally, I want to take a quick look at payout. This concept is rather intuitive. It's simply answering the question, how long until I recoup the investment dollars? Payout does not incorporate the time value of money. It is just a simple calculation. In this case, we've invested $240. In year 1, we recoup $100, leaving an additional $140 to recoup. In year 2, we earn another $105, leaving us with only $35 to recoup in year 3. The question is, how far into the third year will we have to go before we recoup the $35? We know that the investment earns $110 over the course of the third year. So to find the answer, we divide 110 by $35, which gives us 3.14. We round that to 3 and then add the 2 years and see that payout occurs in 2.3 years. You should know how to calculate each of these 3 measures. We will be using these measures in our lecture on capital budgeting, and you will need them for your final project.